Welcome to the Golden Square Podcast with your hosts, Linda Scott and Sharilyn Fisher. Are you ready? Because we're starting now.
Hey,
Hello.
how are you? Are you staying dry?
Trying to. It's storming outside.
Oh, you know what kind of weather that is,
Well, sleep since I don't have a man.
Huh?
Well, since I don't have a man in Texas.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Sleep.
I'm gonna let that go right there. I'll
Really
let that
good.
be. So, other than the rain, you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm wonderful. Wonderful.
Okay, then, girl. I am so
Just
happy
sitting back
to
thinking
see you.
blessings. I have really been blessed today. I mean, God blesses me every day, but today really blessed me, and I'm so appreciative. Don't make me shout up in here now.
Okay, well, just the opportunity. We got a couple of seconds, and you can go ahead and give him this praise because
Yeah,
it's due. It's due. You
do
have
it's
a right to be
yeah,
happy and to praise him.
I do. So
Okay.
has been having some challenges. My 16-year-old has been having some challenges, and she's been in the hospital, and she stayed there 10 days, and she got out today. So
Oh, see, that's
it's
what's up. That's what's up. That's
really,
what's up.
really
So,
blessed.
so that means he made it rain so that you guys could spend today, the rest of the evening together. So that's what that rain is all for. So it's for your happiness, your smile, and her smile.
And she
So
been
that's it.
stuck up under me like glue ever since I picked her up.
That's what it is. I told you that's that rain. You can't go nowhere and she can't go anywhere. Only in your arms are open. So I'm
Yeah.
happy for you. I understand and I'm really, really happy. So let me just ask you this.
What is that, ma'am?
Are you ready
Mm.
to tell the world? Because I've been telling them,
That hardest
um,
to crack.
listen, I need to know about this nut. This nut. And I know it's the toughest nut to crack. I was like, the toughest nut. And it ain't
Mm.
none of me. It ain't none of me.
And it
It ain't
ain't
none of
none of
me. It ain't none of me. That's right. So it's not us. That's not the crack. That's not the nut. But are you ready to bring on our guest? Because I want to really get into this.
I am. I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. So if our producer would bring him on, we can go from there.
All right. Hey,
Hey, hey.
Everybody,
Hey, Sharilyn, they say the toughest
the
nut.
toughest
Now we
nut
ain't gonna
to
say
crack.
who that is, but the toughest nut to crack. But so, sir, how are you today? And welcome to the Golden Square Podcast.
thank you, ma'am and ma'am. Thank you all so very much.
We've
So,
been
how's
so
your day?
up to you tonight.
It's been somewhat hectic, somewhat just getting off the road, and so a lot of hectic stuff hit me. But we're good. We're good. I'm ready for this show tonight.
All
I saw
right.
you last week, and I hope people will be as blessed hearing how God operates tonight as we were on
Yes,
last week.
Oh, great. Oh,
yes. Okay, so let us go ahead and get right into
and
the
tell them
show.
the hardest
Come
nut to
on.
crack, but they're anxious to know. Linda, what's the
Yes.
hardest nut to crack?
But before he do that, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
Well, I am Pastor Dozell Varner. I've been in ministry for 44 years, 42, 45 years, whatever it's been. Actually, I'm married 45, so I've been in ministry now about 46 and a half years. The same number of years TD Jakes has. We're the same age. He's maybe a month ahead of me, and he almost preaches as well as I do.
All
I
right,
met,
I hear you.
I met
I
the two
hear
of
you.
you. I met the two of you all serving in a ministerial capacity at Mount Bethel Ministries here in Fort Lauderdale. I've since moved on, and we've had a church of our own for about 24 years now. New Life, the Church Without Walls. And I see one of my dear members, Marcus Newsom, is on. Um, I coach high school football. This may be the last year of that venture. I am married to my dear wife, Wendy. We've been married 45 years this summer. We have 3 children and 12 grandchildren. We're back
Oh,
and
what
forth.
did you say?
We're back on the road now for graduations. In between,
Okay.
back and forth for that. But yeah, so that's where we. Let's see, what else you need? Well, I served in law enforcement for 7 years in Central Florida, way back in the 1905 or somewhere back then.
Uh-huh.
And I've been friends with you two ladies for the last 20 plus years, and it's been a total blessing to me.
Oh, and it's a blessing for us as well. So, as we were saying earlier, we ready to jump right into what is the toughest nut to crack. And I know some people don't know that you had a battle with that nut. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, yes, it's a nut that has unfortunately claimed the lives of many, including particularly in our community. It has a propensity to our race, and it is the nut of prostate cancer. But the good news about prostate cancer is it is no longer a death sentence. Now, when caught early enough, you stand more than a fighting chance against it. And that's why I've been around for 17 years after my initial diagnosis. At the grace of God, like that.
Well, Sharilyn and I always talk about, well, actually, we've been with guests talking about health all month as much as we possibly can to enlighten our viewers how important it is to know your body. And early detection always saves lives. We've learned that from Miss Rose with colon cancer and all these different cancers that are out there. And it's just about it's about knowing your body,
Right.
knowing something is not right. What were some of the signs that you found that was not regular?
Well, when you hear me talk about the grace of God, in my case, it is 1000% is always, it's the total grace of God. I went into my primary doctor, I guess it was sometime in 2000, early 2008, 2007. I went into my primary doctor because my sternum bone, you can't see it, but my sternum bone was protruding. And at the time I was employed at Mount Bethel with an upstairs office, and I went in with that, and she got back with me within 2 weeks and asked my wife and I to come in for consultation with her. And I'm thinking she's going to talk about surgery, and I'm already arranging, thinking ahead of time, trying to find a downstairs office or something. So while I'm convalescing, I would not have to negotiate those steps. And when we went in, she told us that I can't even think of the name for the prostate cancer numbers, but they were high.
Wow.
And so that's why she had the two of us go in, and she explained what she wanted us to do, and that was follow with the urologist. I was somewhat taken aback because I thought I was going to hear about surgery for this sternum bone, which she said was a non-issue, and then to hear that this prostate issue, that my PSA numbers were high. I had gone through that 5 years prior to, and I went through the full process of the biopsy and everything, which ain't cute at all. And my mom was watching, so I know better than use poor language, but it's not. And I think when they tell you they're going to give you local anesthetics is that anesthetics?
Anesthesia.
Anesthesia. Thank you. Anesthetics. What's that? Some kind of exercise? Okay, I'm a former PE teacher. Okay, it's in my mind. So 5 years prior, when I had endured that, it all turned out to be an enlarged prostate, and that's what I just went through every step of this process, thinking after being informed that this is what this was going to be. And
okay, so I was going to say a dumb question,
No,
but It's not a done question because I've had people to ask me. So a prostate, you might want to explain what the prostate is, and is this something that only men have? Do women have prostate? I was asked that question. I was like, ooh, I better let him answer that question because I mean, I was like, so are you a man or a woman? What? I didn't get it, but I understand that people like myself not educated in the medical field the way we should be. So, and that also said that person didn't know their body.
I think ladies have ovaries and guys have
Mhm.
prostates.
Yes.
Prostates
Yes.
are essential to the reproductive part of a man as ovaries, I think, to the ladies. Now, don't let me sit up here and sound like I'm a urologist or gynecologist, but I think I do know that much about it.
Okay, so I think I researched it a little bit, and it's like the small organ located below the bladder, but in front of the rectum. Is that correct, sir? Because I don't have one, so I don't know.
Well,
So,
yeah, that's exactly what it looks like, and in accordance with the preparatory preparations that I had to go through every time I went through the radiation treatment, which was 60 days. Yes, that's where I would put it.
wow,
It's
okay.
right above. It's right above your groin area, between your navel and your groin area.
Okay.
So that was 17 years ago? That was 17 years ago, Reverend Vaughn?
Yeah, I actually went back today and preparing for your show and look back at dates, and it must have been the latter part of 2007 when I was diagnosed, because it was 2008 when I started treatment.
So go ahead, Shirley.
So how often do you have to go back and be retested to make sure it hasn't come back, to make sure you're still clear?
Well, just so you know, I am still being treated. The initial treatment did not conclude the process. So every 3 months, I do what's called a Lupron shot. That's not cute either. I do that every 3 months, and at that time, before the shot is administered, they do the blood work and they check my own. I'm being treated now by an oncologist, and the oncologist will read the blood work, and if it's within a range that he's comfortable with, he doesn't even let me know about it. I mean, he doesn't even contact me. So the only one time, and I think I've been doing this process with him probably about probably 12, 13 years.
Wow.
Let's see, I did the treatment for a year almost. So it's been about 11 or 12 years. Only once did he tell me that my numbers had escalated. And when they went back and retested, the numbers were fine.
Oh, praise God.
So is there something that you could eat that would control it, or eating your eating habits, did that change or do that change?
Well, first of all, I have to determine whether or not this is a side joke that you're trying to get me, because I have been accused of having a very healthy appetite. So I'm checking to make sure that that's not what you're doing. I'm just joking. No, you know what? I've heard about certain meats you probably should stay away from, and so forth and so on. Like, I think they said red meat is not good. I understand that
fatty foods, probably.
What was that?
Fatty foods, probably.
Probably. And I understand that lemon juice and lemon and water, that's good for it, as it is for any cancer, from what I understand. But I'm just I just go through this 3-month process, and then I would do the shot, and the Lupron, from what I understand, is usually like a side treatment. It's not the primary treatment, but it's worked so well for me that the doctor has continued to use it, and he tells me that there are their medications, pills, and so forth that controls it if the Lupron loses its effect.
Mm.
So did your father have prostate? How did your father have it?
No, thankfully, nobody in my family has had it. My dad hasn't had it. I've had two uncles who had it. In fact, they were not unsuccessful in overcoming it. But two uncles, but my dad didn't have it, and neither of my brothers, thank God, or my son.
So is it genetic or?
It is genetic. Genetics are one of the factors of prostate cancer. Our skin hue is another. It's predominant in the African
American. Yeah, I saw that too. So what
and tall people have a propensity to it also.
What is it?
Tall individuals, I understand, have a propensity to it also.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. So
I wonder why.
So now that you have been diagnosed with it, so do Dozie and your brothers, do they have to be checked on a regular basis?
Yes. They do. In fact, Dozie normally would have been told in his 50s to start closely monitoring it, but now over into his 40s, which he's knocking on the door. When he gets in his 40s, he'll have to start checking for it, carefully.
Yeah, because I read it's all men over 50 need to be tested, but 45 if they
yes, that's my number.
have a chance.
So because of his father, he will need to be, he'll need to start that process over in his 40s.
Because that's considered the high risk. Is that what it's called? The high risk? Because you are I was gonna say carrier, but you are the initial parent that well, not parent, but you the starter of it all. How about that? Yeah.
Yes, I initiated it. Yes, and my brothers, because on one side of our family, it has been a factor in one side of our family. So my brothers also have to be careful and test it. Of course, they're over 50, so they already fall into that category of being tested.
Right.
Tested carefully.
That he had prostate cancer in 2023, so that was just last year.
Right.
So
yes.
I wonder.
And Marcus, I think, went through I don't know how to say the surgery, prostatectomy, I think it is. I think that is what he went through. And I have a closer, so I was headed in that direction. And my dear mother, who's watching, took my mother lives in Jacksonville, and in Jacksonville, Florida, the University of Florida opened up why is my mind escaping me? I know this doesn't happen to you all, but proton therapy, which there were only two in the country. Initially, the Mayo Clinic up in outside of Minneapolis, and one in San Diego, and in Florida, the University of Florida put one right there in Jacksonville at what used to be University Medical Center. I think it's Shands now. And they built a facility. My mother told me about it, and I had to go through a real serious series of tests. They had to test to see, the chance of it working for me. A lot of tests, and I was able to go through that, which entailed 60 days of proton therapy. 60 days of radiation. Wow. And again, the prep for the radiation for for prostate cancer is not cute. And then 30 days of proton therapy. So 60 days of radiation, 60 treatments of radiation, 30 treatments of proton. The proton was far less. The actual radiation, the actual proton was not a problem. It was the preparation that you went through in order for that daily treatment that was a little bit. Let's just say you probably could think of 1,000 other things you'd rather have done.
Did you rather do, huh?
So proton, what actually is the proton treatment?
Right.
So Radiation, I guess, is radiation trying to break the beams of break the cancer cells.
Mm.
Proton beams are where they actually insert through a, I don't know, a scope or something, microscopically without invading your skin. It goes through and it does supposedly have the same effects, but they leave beams in that helps to break it up
Oh,
to
okay.
Oh,
cells.
So
you
these
know,
things stay in your body?
I think, and this is horrible, and I don't have to answer you like that, but I think
Okay.
this.
yeah, they do, Sharilyn, because unfortunately, my father had it. And when you said the beans, that's what it was. And that's all we would hear is about the beans being put. I'm like, what kind of beans? You know, so it was something that I really didn't understand, but I knew that my brothers and I guess my grandsons or my sons should be tested now because Midnight is at that age of 45 and my dad had it. So I should be Midnight, Dondrea. So I should be telling him to go get tested. Am I right?
Yes, I think you. Yes, yes.
Because yeah, that was
And
wow.
also, your brother, Ben, too. He needs to be start getting tested.
Ex- yes. And you know what, Reverend? What are some of the signs of you knowing that something is wrong in that area?
So this is so funny. Um, I cannot tell you. I guess I should have researched and even prepared for the show. But I was doing further research, but I cannot tell you one sign of. Um, well, I guess I have studied enough because I did not have one sign. Whatever the signs were that I educated myself on like 17 years ago, I
Yeah,
cannot. I did not have one of them. I think it interferes with your bladder stream.
right.
Mhm.
It may interfere with the sexual function
Hmm.
to a lesser degree. Uh, there were several things that I would have noticed. I'm telling you, the enemy thought he was going to sneak up on me with this.
Mm.
And that's amazing because the research that I have is that you do urine a lot and more at night, and that's what I was waiting for you to say the urine stages and always going at night, and I couldn't understand why at night or does it affect you? Is it your body more relaxed or something? And
I'm trying to figure that piece out now
yeah,
because I'm diabetic um, and urination is a part. I'm diabetic and I take blood pressure medication, and all of those
okay,
things escalate the urination process. I don't have that until about, I'm retired, so I'm up late at night, but
uh-huh.
I may go to bed at 1, sometimes 2 o'clock. At about 5:30, 6 o'clock, that 5 o'clock, I have to get up. And then
Wow.
once I get up and go, I go 2 or 3 times within the next 2 hours. So
Okay, so here's another one. I know you said that you didn't have. So if Marcus is still on here and you can answer some of our questions, I really would appreciate if you do help Dozell with this right here. But um, what about you having to go to the restroom to urinate? You cannot either you can't get started or you can't finish. Yes, Marcus, I was going to get to that blood in the
Blood
urine
in
too.
the urine.
I have the whole thing. I was like, oh my God, these are things that are coming back to me for my daddy is concerned. But with my dad, we kind of not push, but my family, the boys was going to take care of dad. If dad got sick, and then the girls was going to take care of mom if mom got sick. But I know I know about the weakness of the bladder. I know that you could try to urinate
But
and
just
can't,
can't.
or you can't stop. So you don't have any control over that. So you didn't have that either, Dozell?
I had absolutely none of those symptoms. Not one of
Wow,
them.
how blessed. How
I'm
blessed.
telling you, when I say the enemy thought he could sneak up on me, he was, because it was an advanced state of prostate cancer. Once it was, I did find, and I was right about the proton therapy. It's the proton particles or beams transmitted into you to destroy
Right.
the tumors, is what I just looked up and found.
Okay,
I think every time something comes, the beans explode or send a message that no, you need to go back to wherever you were. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
let me ask you this question. When you take chemo has the tendency of destroying good cells and bad cells. It
Correct.
kills cancer cells, but then along the way, it kind of interferes and destroys some of your good cells. Do you experience that too with protons treatment?
No, I did. Remember, I had 90 treatments and 60 were radiation and 30 were proton. And I did do. I did a lot of study of proton therapy because it was a relatively new treatment, particularly in the South. The thing that my mother, one of the things that she knew was that I was trying to avoid it interfering with any of my functions. And one of the things I learned that it was the least invasive of all treatments. Now, the radiation, which I had 2-to-1 of the proton therapy, the radiation did, because it was around my intestinal area. When I would eat, it was almost as if you had just eaten Chinese food. That castor oil effect.
Yeah.
But it was done and over, and you're back up and moving around. But that was the only thing. Proton therapy, those 30 treatments of proton therapy, the preparation for the proton therapy was less embarrassing, less invasive, less comfortable. The radiation was a little bit, and I'm trying to be so proper, but let me just be a little bit more raw and real.
Right. That's what we want. We don't want you to be proper because we need to know.
His mom's listening,
All right.
One of the things I think over these 17 years that God has had the treatment, that's why I thank you ladies for this invitation, is because I have not talked a whole lot about this. And the good Lord just let me know, Negro, I have not saved you to sit on this testimony.
Right.
That's
And
right.
and I'm grateful that you all are giving me this forum to kind of get it out. I knew several ministers had gone through, and in fact, had I gone through the regular, and this is where I was headed to the prostate cancer, the prostate removal, whatever that's called, proctonectomy or whatever that's called. I was headed to that. And the next step in that procedure was to go and have a rod inserted, in my organ. And I was doing everything. I think at that point I was so I'd gone from being shocked and I think bitterness had set in. I just said, whatever, this is getting this done. And then I was hearing the harsh after effects of that surgery. I knew it was like one of the most successful for getting you rid of prostate cancer. But I was hearing how utterly interfering it was for like 6 months, and complete with colostomy bag and all of those things. And
One of our viewers just said, producer, would you put that back up for us, please? Prostate cancer is a bug, and many men don't find out until it's almost too late. And she said, keep it real. Amen. That was the point that I wanted, to keep it real so that people could understand the most. Yes, Mr. You have to keep it real, because if you don't inform me the correct way, and a lot of us are not medical inclined, I don't understand what 1 and 1 is, or Z and Z plus F and all that. So we have to inform our people so that they can understand.
And understand in the language they can
That.
understand. You know, when they go to the doctor, and sometimes people, Linda for one, come out of the doctor's office and just as clueless as they went in.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
Linda has white coat syndrome. As soon as she see the white coat, she gets scared. She don't hear or understand anything.
Nothing.
People like Dozell don't tell people in a language that they can understand.
Right.
You know, somebody out here might be having symptoms and don't know what they are and don't know what's going on and might have white coat syndrome like Linda and won't go to the doctor. But if
Exactly.
you tell them symptoms are and what they should be looking for, then they might have the tendency to go and have it checked out.
And I know we could say, I know Miss Varner on here, but she could tell us some stuff too. But I know one of your signs is when a man goes to the restroom and he's urinating and it's a burning sensation that you all are feeling. That could have been something else. You know, back in the day, you know, you say, oh man, I'm burning. But that's not why you're burning.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? So
important to go to the doctor and get it checked out.
Exactly. So it's the fear that I know men, and not just men, but for sure men have those fear of going and man, this had happened. And then you want to go to your friend as if he is a doctor. Man, you ever had this burning right here before? You know, instead of going to the doctor. So that's why our heart is so into sharing with our viewers about the health that we're going through, about our body, some of the things that we're getting up there in age and this is readjusting. So we appreciate you being on here and just keeping it real with the viewers and keeping it real with yourself.
So Linda, let's hold that because it's 7:30. Let's commercial right quick.
Okay, first commercial. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Sharilyn Fisher, and I am so excited about Joyful Playhouse. Let me tell you what Joyful Playhouse is. It's a funplex center, but it's like no other funplex center in the Houston and surrounding areas. We will be dedicated to children with disabilities and special needs. Not only we have services for the children, but we will have services for the families and the siblings. Joyful Playhouse needs your assistance. Will you please go to our website, www.joyfulplayhouse.com. There you will find a QR code to make contributions, and there's also a link where you can sign up to volunteer. That is www.joyfulplayhouse.com, and you can also find us on all social media at joyfulplayhouse.com. I'm excited, and I want you to get excited with us. So come on aboard to joyfulplayhouse.com.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the toughest nut to crack. I'm telling you. So, but Dozell, let me ask you this question right here, because I'm still into the systems of what how you can tell or something is wrong. Did you lose weight?
Never lost weight.
Never lost weight. Okay. You truly are blessed. God was holding your hand.
So, Reverend Varner, what is his name, Mr. Newsom? The guy who had prostate cancer in 2023?
Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus Newsom, Brother Marcus Newsom.
Marcus, did you lose weight, or what symptoms did you have? Can you kind of just type it in there right quick?
And while he's doing that, Rev, you didn't have no pain in your bones, you know, like, you know, your hip, you had, oh man, my hip done slipped out. You know what I'm saying?
I know those pains now. I had no pains, no weight loss, no uncomfortability, no change in my urination patterns, none of those things, not one of them. I'm telling you, and I do have to look at things from a spiritual point of view. The enemy was really trying to sneak up on me, and God wouldn't let it happen that way.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Grateful. So grateful.
I truly am. And I wish there were so many more stories like yours that people were, and I don't know, was it just that you were on top of everything, but whatever it was that God spared you to be right here tonight to educate the viewers, because I know there's a lot of things that are going on that a man would of our age would say, man, I can't breathe, you know, and knowing that's a sign. It's just not of age. It's some stuff that are going on inside of your body.
community too. You know, it's the leading killer of our black men, and men need to go and get tested. Go and get tested.
Exactly.
Don't do it for you. Go and do it for your family. Go and do it for your
Exactly.
right.
We just lost Dexter King earlier this year,
Right.
and we lost Congressman. Well, the family didn't come out and say it, but it strongly insinuated that that's what happened to Congressman Elijah Cummings. It came back, and then we lost some local civic leaders in our community, and so I just kind of look at it. God is still got work for me. So what I have done is that I've asked God to not only continue to give me victory in this war, but don't let this take me out.
Right.
Mm.
I've already given him a year that I would like for my, you know how we want to plan it. We want to plan,
Right.
but my wife and I to go out the same second, so neither one of us have to grieve the other, has to grieve the other, or nothing
Right.
like that. It's a high number that I've asked him for, and he's let me know if you want to stick around, you think things are crazy now, you're gonna really see crazy.
Yes.
He hadn't said yes or no, but I've heard that part. But the one thing that let me say this about my wife. When I was first, because when I went in for what do they call whenever they test for cancer? What's that? What is that?
Oh, no, I don't know. I
can't even believe that. It's a test where they cut parts wherever they
biopsy.
Biopsy. Thank you.
Okay.
My mind's gone.
Okay, now that's the age, but go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Well, since we read that with me, thank you. When that biopsy is not cute, is not comfortable. I would not wish that on the worst enemy.
Wow.
But I went through that process thinking, okay, it's going to come back and say my prostate is enlarged again. And oftentimes an enlarged prostate is a precursor to prostate cancer. So for my brothers that have had that diagnosis or will get that diagnosis, stay on top of that thing. Check out, your urologist or your doctor probably have it tested more regularly anyway. But at that point, you really want to stay on top of it. So I had that, and I was totally in shock when he called me in. When the urologist called me and had a very frank discussion, and he not only did tell me that I had it, but he told me it was a very aggressive form of prostate cancer.
Wow.
And my wife and I had a conversation about it. I immediately told all three of my kids, and my wife and I had and thing. That's why I can say so much about my wife, my dear wife. She said to me, no matter what the effects of it are, no matter what it is, we're going to fight through this together. We're going to look to God, and don't you worry about what it does to you from here on out. Because as long as you and I can sit here on this couch and be together, that's what's up. And I'll just say that thankfully, because of my mother and trying to find a non-invasive process and finding that, which didn't completely, it did not, it gave me about 4 or 5 months of relief from the prostate cancer. But thankfully, I have not been totally wiped away in that respect, but it'll always, I'll go to eternity thanking God to have a wife to say those kinds of things to me.
Yeah,
yeah, she said that's love, and for better or worse, amen. And then Marcus said he lost weight during his time frame. So that is, I was going to ask you about the family and the relationship. How does it affect your family? And I'm glad you did cover that, because it has to be hard
on the wife
family. And yes, and your kids are grown, so I know they're thinking about their father, and the relationship that I know that you all have. That would have been hard to take, because it was hard, when my dad told us what was going on with him. So having that support team, that's where we want to get to. That support team that means so much in everything that we do. how did your kids adjust to?
Well, I want to shout out because that's a whole family thing.
Mm-hmm.
One of my children was all three of my children expressed faith and said, "We go, Dad, we're gonna get through this." One of them was a tad emotional for a second, and then got themselves together and just joined in. We're gonna fight this thing. We're gonna win it. My brother, my middle brother, Anthony, I'm the oldest. He said to me, and his saying this to me was almost like hearing the Spirit of God saying. He said, he called me Bo. He said, "Bo, you're gonna be all right." And to this day, that stays in my heart and in my spirit. I can tell you how much that meant to me.
Wow.
How much that means. My parents opened their doors to me because being that I took the treatment there in Jacksonville, I would drive up on Mondays. I had treatment at 11 o'clock, and I would drive up at about 5 a.m, and I would stay with them all week and go to treatment, and I would get to hang out with my brothers and cousins. And then on Fridays after treatment, I would leave from the University of Florida proton therapy and head back down to South Florida. I did church. I took a leave of absence from the Broward County School Board, and thankfully I was a part of a program where I put so much money in, and that basically helped to pay my salary while I was out those 90 days, or those 3 months. So it gave me an opportunity to be with my parents, which I hadn't done most of my adult life. And there was, we talked on the phone all the time, being with them. And of course, I stayed in touch with my dear wife on the phone, and couldn't wait to get back in here on Fridays, and was sad to leave out on Mondays. But God worked all of that out.
Wow, that one of these days I'm gonna be that kind of wife. Marcus said, "I have a good wife with me." Oh, see, that's what it is. It's that support team and all of this. That support and knowing your vows, from, like Miss Julie just said, from better to worse, and then that worse gets better. So I am truly happy. Man, I'm happy for all of this. I know back in the day, if you remember, Tom Joyner used to have a segment on his Tom Joyner morning show. Take a friend to the doctor. Oh no, it wasn't it was not take a friend. It was take your man or something like that. Yeah, it was that part. Yeah, take your partner to the doctor.
A loved one to the doctor.
And we need to have that campaign back, because we are losing a lot of great people at that last moment. Didn't know I had, because we didn't adjust our bodies and didn't know the adjustments of our body. And last week, when we were talking to Julie about lupus and how she became her own doctor, that's what I said. She became her own doctor, and she advocated for herself and said, "Hey, this is what's going on with me. This is what's happening with me." And for you to come back to the men, because this is so important to our men and Black men. Why everything happened to us, it dominates the old was Black families have to. Why? What is that about?
Marcus say amen. But one of the things that I want to say about you spending that time with your parents, God always has a way to finding something good, to making something good out of what we consider.
Yes.
That time parents, you can't measure it.
Yes.
That time spent with your parents is.
I will never ever discount that. I mean, not discount. I will never ever cease to give God praise for that. My dad was ultimately a victim of dementia, and this happened a couple years before the dementia signs started showing up, and so it was my dad at himself, and it was just we got to spend great time. We were together yesterday. Most of our family, Madam Producer, and her side of the family was not with us, but the other two kids and the siblings were together for one of 4 graduations that we'll be on the road for the next 9 days for. And we were sitting there, and we were just talking about how just what you just said, Ms. Sharilyn, how God puts things together and allows things to kind of work out that they fit together. We may not know at the time why or whatever, but he is always doing that together. And even my mother being perceptive and seeing that proton therapy center was there. Again, proton therapy did not work for me, but it's highly successful in many cases. But it did get me with my parents. God supplied me a vehicle that I could make it back and forth with every week without any issues. A loving wife and a loving church congregation.
Can you hold that right there? We got to take a quick break and we'll be right back and you continue to talk about your family.
Sure.
Hey, this is your girl, Linda Scott. I am here to introduce you to Linda S. Jury 1426. Now, some of you know me, some of you don't. But if you don't know me, get to know me. Check out and scan the QR code below. Look at the inventory. I made this. God created. I put it together. See you soon. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for joining back. We have Dozell Varner with us, and he's talking about prostate cancer, guys. And we're seeing that
family went through that with him.
And we're so honored to know this. And one of our viewers, Mr. Marcus, said he has a good wife, and his wife stayed by his side, or is by his side, not stayed like she left, but she's by his side as well. And that's what we need to know.
We need
how
to
that strength.
Too. We need to see more.
Yeah. So it's amazing, man. You're that, y'all. This is my friend. Let me just say, I'm gonna let everybody know this is my friend. He gonna be my friend when we hang up, but this my friend for real. Right. Yeah, and I am so honored to know, and I know the goodness of his family, and they're just like my family. But to go on with his health issues, I would just love for him to spread the word as he's doing right now to help others, and we have to put that out there so that we can help others, because again, we are going to Dr. Sharilyn, who ain't no doctor, saying, Sharilyn, you know, my left ear hurt. Yours be hurting like that? We need to know.
I'm gonna tell her put some
different things.
All in it, like my mama told me.
Listen,
it'll be all right.
My go-to medicine for everything, Doc, is Big Salve.
Big Salve on everything.
On everything. So if anything hurt, you come to me. Put some Vicks on it.
y'all need to get some money for some of these products y'all advertising out there on your show.
Right? I know. But, go ahead.
Quiz for you.
He want to have a question right quick, Shirley.
Well, if I very quickly can say one of the things on one side of my family, one side of my, our parental families, cancer is more pervasive, and it has touched my generation. I am the oldest, and I'm one of four of, I think there's 17, 14, 15 cousins of us, and I'm one of four that has been touched by cancer. There's one case of prostate cancer, 2 cases of breast cancer, and 1 case of leukemia. Thankfully, we are all right. One has had a reoccurring thing with the breast cancer, but has just completed the treatments again and is looking good. And then we have one of our children, the next generation down, has had a tumor, I think, in the head from cancer. A young brother. So we call ourselves the Fearsome Foursome, and within our closely knit group, we pray and ask God that since we have it, that we are the ones who are fighting it off for the rest of the bloodline.
Amen.
Our prayer.
Amen. Amen. Wow. Well, I'll say, and then you could go ahead and ask him, Sharilyn, but I'm the oldest of 6. I have 2 brothers and 3 sisters. And I'm experiencing cancer with one of my siblings for the first time. And hopefully this is the last. But we two are a very strong family, and I don't even know where that came from because I'm about to cry. But um, it is a family supporting and being strong and being there for each other. And even though he is um, out of state, we still talk on a regular basis, and especially the days that he can speak. And he's upbeat about it, and he's accepted whatever would happen today or tomorrow. So I said that to say, Reverend, I am so proud of you and your family, and I pray that our family will be just as strong and supportive as I've seen your family be.
You have, your brother has all of our prayers, and we're in this together. Dr. King said we're one single garment of destiny, and we're all one. So we may not share the same bloodline, but emotionally,
They're all one, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
playing with you.
So, okay, come on back, Linda. Okay, Sharilyn, you was gonna ask him.
Some quick questions just to make it kind of fun. See how much you know about prostate cancer. That men of any age can get prostate cancer. True or false?
I'm not so sure that that's true. I've not heard of anybody pre-puberty or even younger. I've not heard of real young people getting it. So this could show my ignorance on that answer.
So it's going to be false.
That's gonna be false.
Okay, the correct answer is true.
Oh,
Cancer can be found in men younger than 40, but it's very rare in this age group. The risk of prostate cancer rises rapidly after age 50. About 6 in 10 cases of prostate cancer can be found in men over the age of 65. Wow. The next one is prostate cancer often causes men to have trouble passing urine.
Yes. I mean, yes, I think I've learned that tonight if I didn't know.
Yeah, that one's true. Prostate cancer is very common in the U.S.
Yes.
That one's true.
Yes. There's a lot of us in the U.S., so we know that.
Yeah.
right. So that exactly.
Prostate cancer always needs to be treated right away.
Absolutely.
Amazingly, that's false.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you know, let me see if I can make this answer short. I was diagnosed somewhere in late 2007. I tried herbal treatments for half of 2008. While we figured they didn't work, so then we pivoted over to back to the medical community, and I started treatments. I was trying to count it. I think it was October of 2008 when I actually started the treatments. So yeah, even though it was found to be aggressive, I didn't start the effective treatments until late 2008.
And this answer, they say most men are diagnosed with prostate cancer when it's still at an early stage, it's small and has not spread. Not all of these cancers need to be treated. And I've always thought, no matter what type of cancer it was,
It had to be
early treatment, early diagnosis, the diagnosis was the cure. But I guess they fooled me. And they say all men should be prostate cancer.
Say that again, please.
All men should be treated for prostate cancer.
I mean, if they have, yes, if they have it, absolutely.
right. So, but why would you not do it early once you found it?
They say prostate cancer screening testing, it's not perfect, and in some men it may do more harm than good.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
I guess I'd rather err on the side of caution.
Right. And this last one, there's nothing that can be done to lower your chances of getting prostate cancer.
I don't know, maybe diet, exercise may assist. I'm not sure.
Marcus said yes, Miss.
They say since they don't know the cause of most cases of prostate cancer, so you don't know how to prevent it. If you don't know the cause, they don't know how to prevent it. So That's true.
Wow.
There are things you can do that might help lower your chances of getting it. Going to and staying at a healthy weight, being physically active, following a healthy eating pattern, which includes a variety of colorful fruits and vegetables. But they say that for all cancers, eat healthy and whatever. So whatever. But you know
Wow.
what? Dozell, you are very active.
Yes.
And you eat healthy. You eat a lot of healthy, but you eat.
Listen.
I don't know about that.
Right, I'm about to bust him too, Sharilyn. No, he don't eat as healthy as he should.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I eat healthy enough to keep the endocrinologist off of me by keeping a good A1C, keeping the sugar down.
Okay.
And I've kind of adjusted to that. But oh boy, get out and eat some things probably would not be. I don't have a problem with drawing from meat, red meat. I could probably do that permanently if I had to.
Right.
There are other things I'm sure I could refrain from. Sugars I know are not good.
Yeah. That's
sugars are
that's me.
Yeah.
So, well, all right.
So tell us how we can, if someone's
Right.
your net process, sending prayers to your family, Linda. So they're sending prayers to your family for your brother. So Dozell, tell us how we can contact you if anybody wants any information and have any questions. How can they contact you?
Okay, so you have this permanent record because you can always refer back to the Golden Square podcast, or you can switch over to Dialogue with Dozie's page. You'll see this broadcast. This tape will be up, or my personal, Dozell Varner. I can be reached at iamdozell@gmail.com. I am Dozell, Dozell @gmail.com. Or my phone number is my Zelle number, 954-931-7966.
Wow.
So those are ways you can reach me.
Okay.
I pray that we have. I know you have educated me, and we praying that you've educated our audience enough that women go get the men
and
pull them by the hair like those there. That's why he don't have no hair. When did I pull him right to the doctor? Pull him by the head. That's it, and take him to the doctor. We got to go visit the doctor, y'all. We got to get accustomed. If you sneeze and that wasn't the right sneeze, take him to the doctor. We got to go check ourselves, and especially once you get over a certain number, we can't we can't say what number, because every time we go with the number, they change it and put another number. So we just have to know who we are, and that body as that's the temple. That's we got to keep it clean. We got to keep it shining. It got to be pure, just like the Golden Square podcast. So, hey, this is where the gold is pure. We're so excited. We appreciate your time, sir, and the knowledge that you have. So, from this point right here, Sharilyn,
we got to tell them to go on our YouTube.
Yes, and do what?
Subscribe and like.
And share. We look forward to seeing you all on next week. Y'all know it's about voting, and don't be looking for no president to be voting for the president. That's in November. There's other important pieces that we have to take care of right now
in our local elections.
Exactly.
It benefit and support you. Please
vote
local elections.
That those are the what is it important? You said, Sharilyn?
Very important.
Very important, y'all. We got to hit that local. So, sir, would you like to say anything else before we leave?
Two quick things on voting. You know, I do voter registration and voter education. You're in the state of Florida. You know how crazy it has become here politically.
Yeah.
Go vote, go vote, go vote. I can't tell you how to vote, but go vote.
Go vote.
You know how I'm telling you to vote, but I can't come out and see it. Okay. The second thing is, men and women, please go through, make it an annual physical. If it's double, if it's twice a year, do it. Were it not for this bulging sternum bone, I would have probably been too late being diagnosed with prostate cancer. But since you have the opportunity, we've thrown out ages. When you get past 45, start checking in. And ladies, there's never too early for you to check for breast cancer.
Exactly.
That is so
Exactly. So again, Sharilyn and I, thank you so much for joining us. And we're here if you ever need us. And to our viewers, again, go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next week. Remember, the golden square where the gold is pure.
where the gold is pure. See you
We'll
next
see you soon. Good night.